Parshas משפטים, תשפ"ד. Till the last second, I didn't know, I wanted to speak about another subject, but if I don't give this shiur, those Shabbos won't be able to understand the other shiurim. So it's a little bit of a difficult shiur, but less interesting than the second that they're going to hear Shabbos about the story of the explanation of the story of the four Tanoim that went into the Pardes, the Gan Eden. And but it's very difficult to explain it without giving that shiur first, to give you a fundamental understanding on how things are working in the world. So it's very, very fundamental, that shiur. And it will enable you to understand a lot of things. So let's go into the psukim right now. And as Hashem, we're going to go into the Pardes B'Shalom, like Rabbi Akiva, and we're going to come out B'Shalom, because it's not an easy shiur to give like this on a Zoom. So let's go into the psukim right away. So we're going to focus mostly, I'll give it to you in very short because it wouldn't be fair not to talk about this whole concept of Na'aseh ונשמע. We're making it as if it's the pinnacle of the whole Torah. If that's so, why didn't they say it right after the Aseret HaDibros? We know the Aseret HaDibros have 172 words. Exactly like Ekev. Ekev tishmeun es hamishpatim ha'ele. Whenever you are in hardship, you just go back to the Ekev. And with that shiur today, you'll understand also why the Ekev gets you out of trouble. It's the side of Yaakov. Yaakov was Ekev plus the Yud that he took from Esau. Okay, I understand. Now, there's 620 letters in the Aseret HaDibros. And say Chazal, it's Keneged 620, it's the Gematria Keser. Why? Because this is the Sulam, this is the ladder that can take you all the way to the Keser. We all know that all the Kitrugim, all the Chitzonim, all the Klippos can only reach the 7th midah. This world is ruled by 7 midas from Chesed down. Those who have the documents I gave you, you can look down. So from Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchus. That's the only place the Chitzonim can go. Above, Bina, Chochma, Keser, with the Das in the middle, they cannot touch. And a person, through the kiyum of the Aseret HaDibros, and even reading them, if you guys know that, even reading the Aseret HaDibros is a tremendous gula. So anyway, so it should have said Na'aseh ונשמע when we received the main dish, the Aseret HaDibros, which is in the Torah. We all stand up when we hear the Aseret HaDibros. We don't when we read Ve'ele HaMishpatim. So why in a little corner of Mishpatim, we're going to hear that the Bnei Yisrael said Na'aseh ונשמע, but we're going to speak about it like as if they've said it before HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Har Sinai. They did not say it in Har Sinai. They said it when they was in Mara. They have left Har Sinai and they went to Mara. And if you look in Rashi there, you're going to see that Rashi said they received 3 mitzvahs there: Shabbos, Kibud Avayim, and Paraduma, Efer Paraduma. I know everybody has the questions. The Shabbos we say Aseret HaDibros, or Kibud Avayim is Aseret HaDibros. Yeah, but not the dinim. the associated dinim around these men halachis are not mentioned in the Aseret Adibros. It's afterward. So in Mara, that's where they're going to say Na'aseh ונשמע. It really seems out of place. I'm not going to get there, unfortunately, to answer you all this about the Na'aseh ונשמע. It's just too mind-boggling. And it's going to be quite a long shiur on Shabbos in order to hear that, but I'm fine not answering this. I don't want to. I will give you a pick, and you will understand that there's a tremendous depth in these two words. Tremendous depth. Let's go on the psukim. Vayavo Moshe came vaysaper, and he recounted. Shun Bar Yochai says, Vay. Oy on the one who says that the Torah is a sipor. The Torah is only the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All of them is only these names. But it says of Shimon Bar Yochai, I'm sorry. It says in the pasuk here by Saper. He came Moshe Rabbeinu to say a story. So what's the problem? Es kol divrei Hashem. So he recounted everything Hashem said. Okay. Ve'es kol mishpatim, and all the laws. I'm sorry. Is that a repetition? Because if it's everything Hashem said, then it's everything Hashem said, including the laws. Ve'ela mishpatim asher tasim lifnei, Mitzvah Kadosh Baruch Hu speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu. So what is this ve'es kol mishpatim? Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu said something and someone else said something, or where do they come from? Bayan kol ha'am kol echad, all the people answered in one voice. Vayemru kol hadevarim asher diber Hashem na'aseh. But what about the mishpatim? Kol divrei Hashem asher kol hadevarim asher diber Hashem. So we only accepting these ones. We're not accepting the mishpatim. We only gonna do that. That's what it seems in the pasuk, right? You have two blocks here. You have divrei Hashem, and you have a mishpatim. The pity I could give a shiur just on these words. This repeated so many times, and why they're changing like this. Divrei Hashem, diber Hashem. What is it? What shemesh it is? Woof. And why do they say only Na'aseh in there? They didn't say Na'aseh ונשמע on this. So, Vayichtov Moshe, Moshe wrote, Eskol divrei Hashem, all the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Did we receive the luchas? I mean, it's supposed to be on the luchas, right? So why is Moshe writing? Why is he writing? Vayashkem ba'boker, he got up early, vayiven mizbeach tachas ahar, and he built a mizbeach under the mountain. He went under the mountain? He went under Har Sinai? What's tachas ahar? Bagiva tell me, in the valley, in somewhere. But usually a har is pointy, so it's much broader wider at the base than it is at the top. So tachas, so any place on the har would not fit that language of tachas ahar. What is tachas ahar? Ushtem esrei matzeva, and he built 12 mizbeach. So at the beginning we had vayiven mizbeach, right? So we have one. Now these ones are different because he called them matzeva, right? Ushtem esrei matzeva. So how many did he create? Lishnem asar shiftei Yisrael, for the 12 tribes of Israel. It's 30. Do you remember the shiur of last week? You have 12 mazalas and one in the center that control the 12, the 13th. We're back in the 13th here. I cannot go into it today. I mean, these psukim, as you read them, you see they're just incredible. They don't project the pshat pashut that, supposedly it's supposed to mean. Vayishlach es na'arei Bnei Yisrael. He sent the teenagers, the youngsters of Bnei Yisrael. Look at Rashi, who they are. Vayalu oilois. Oh, we lost the vavs here. Typo mistake again. These are oilois without vavs. What is the pastor coming to tell me? Vayizbechu zevachim shelamim. Oh, it's not shlamim, because in Vayikra we call this zevach shlamim. Okay, but zevachim shlamim, you're not going to find it. It's called a shlamim, korban shlamim. What is a zevach zevachim shlamim? Lashem parim. Vayizbechu parim. Lashem or Vayizvechu Shlamim, I don't know, but it says here Vayalu Oilos, right after the verb comes the noun, Vayizvechu Parim. Then it says Shlamim Lashem, that they were Shlamim, but that pasuk is upside down. Vayizvechu Zevachim Shlamim. To who? To Hashem. What? Parim. All right. Not going to touch this pasuk neither, but I just want to bring up because I'm going to touch only this pasuk. Vayikach Moshe took chatzi hadam, half the blood. So he did zvachim shlamim, he did oilos, but he's only taking half the blood. Half the blood of who? Of what? Which korban? The oilos? The shlamim? Because there were a lot of shlamim. Together? No, it doesn't say in the pasuk. Vayasem ba'agonos, and he put them in pshat pashut, in vessels, small vessels. He put some blood, half the blood. You realize that agonos is missing the vav here, and every time he comes to teach us something, this letter vav. This letter Yud Vav that we had to share last week are essential all around our life. So very, very briefly, I'm going to show you that the share of last week about the Yud Vav, we still have it this week. But, just to show you, I'm not going to go into it. Vachatzi hadam. Oh, now you really show me that you really insist that it has to be chatzi hadam, half the blood. 1 second. Did Moshe had a scale or anything like this in order to make sure that it takes chatzi hadam exactly to one place? And chatzi, it's impossible. Moshe, it says in the pasuk, he told Paroi, kachatzi halayla, about the middle of the night will be makas bechoros. Why? Because human cannot specifically come to a measure. We cannot measure exactly. And if you look at Rashi on this pasuk, Rashi says that a malach did it. Moshe Rabbeinu was not able to do it. Right. And it was done. Rashi, you're supposed to give me the pshat. I mean, you dropped a bomb on me. Who separated the blood? A malach? Yes, a malach, Rashi says. Which malach? We'll see. Just, unfortunately, this is going to be Parasha Shiur also. Vayikach Sefer HaBeris. What is Sefer HaBeris? I know what Sefer Torah is. I know what the Luchas are. But I don't know what Sefer HaBeris is, because the Beris, we all know it's the Yesod. So is there a Yesod? Is there and just to give you a quick, that same game is going to be played a bit later in the Parasha, Luchas Ha'even. The Luchas are made out of stone. And then he calls them Luchas HaBris. Then he called them Luchas Ha'edus, of testimony. What is Luchas HaBris versus Luchas Ha'even? Evan, we know from the Ramak in Padas Rimoinim, Sharchav Gimel, Evan means the Malchus. It's called Evan. Evan Apina, every time we see this word Evan is the Malchus. Bris, we know it's the Yesod. We know we had two luchas. First luchas were luchas rishonos, we never deserved them, on which the Ari HaKadosh said that had we deserved those luchas, we would have been like Adam HaRishon, so we would have gone right away into Eretz Yisrael. And from Eretz Yisrael, there's a few gates to Gan Eden. And we would have been in and out of Gan Eden, in and out. We would have been different people, would have reached the level back of Adam HaRishon, because before the Chet, you know that when there was Kabbalah Torah, the Misa, death, was canceled. What do you mean death was canceled? What are these words meaning? Who is death? You know by now, by heart, who is death? Death is the female of the Nachash. The Nachash female. The Lili, the Sitra Achra, the 480 is the Malach HaMavet. So what happened that death was canceled? Means a tikkun was done. The complete tikkun was reached, and automatically the Malach HaMavet could not anymore. So on the whole world, death would have remained, but not on Bnei Yisrael. Would have never died again. And says the Ari HaKadosh that no nation would have been able to do anything against us. Would have never lost grip on power over the nations. Unfortunately, we know the story. We didn't deserve, because of the Egel, we didn't deserve the first luchas. So Moshe Rabbeinu broke them. They went up. The letters went up. Then they were too heavy, because how was he carrying this? And they broke. We didn't receive it. Those first luchas was the Torah that we're going to learn in Gan Eden, that we're going to learn after Mashiach. It's not the same Torah as we have today. It's a different Torah. And this Torah comes, two luchas, Netzach, Hoid. Of the Yesod, Netzach, Hoid. These two. Now that we didn't deserve those ones, so we went down to the Malchus of Netzach, Hoid, of the Malchus, and that's the luchas ha'even. That's why in the first luchas, HaKadosh Baruch Hu carved them, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu wrote them. That's why on the second luchas, Moshe Rabbeinu carved them, and Moshe Rabbeinu wrote them in Shemayim. It was not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But still, I just want to give you a perspective here, how much is behind that pasuk and how much we're going to have to learn in order to understand simple words. But once we're going to learn what we're going to learn, it's going to be so clear, the meaning of the pasuk. So let's start now the Shiur. The Heilige Rabbeinu Bachye, Talmid of the Ramban HaKodesh, usually gives us, pshat in the psukim, pshat in the Torah, but sometimes he hints what his explanation, whenever you don't understand. The Ramban speaks very briefly and hides a lot behind words. It was a Gon Oilam. As I told you many times, the Ari HaKadosh says that between Reb Shimon Bar Yochai till the Ramban, nobody was as big as the Ramban in Kabbalah. He reached levels that are unimaginable. So Rabbeinu Bachaye deciphers a little bit the words of his master. Whenever I don't understand the Ramban, right away I know there's a Rabbeinu Bachaye there, and he's going to tell me what his Rebbe meant. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Ve'al Moshe Omar, Alei el Hashem, come up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If I would ask you to touch me these words, what it means go up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have an understanding in this Shiur that words and names are just faces or screens. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not, we cannot reach or understand the Ein Sof. So the more he goes down, the more levushim, cloth, the more covers he puts on. But when he says Ve'el Moshe Omar Ale El Hashem, the Yud Ke Vav Ke, we know the Yud Ke Vav Ke usually refers to Mamish HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what we call HaKadosh, not Kutsha Berichu, which is a Tiferes, the essence, the creator, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Ibn Bachya says, no, we're not talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who are we talking about? You remember the last year on Parshas Bereshis, on Vayechi? Probably not, but I'm going to remind you a little bit. We spoke about Yosef and the different Gilgulim of Yosef. We spoke about Eliezer, we spoke about Chanoich, we spoke about a certain Malach. And the Malach is Malach Matatron. And I told you this is the Malach. It says on all the, in small, on all the Sidurim, in Rosh Hashanah and the Machzorim, that, some say there's a Yehirat sign in between, which we shouldn't say. And it says, because the Malach, Mem Tes Resh Vav Nun, Matatron brings the Kiyas all the way to Kisakov. Why do we need him to come down, take the Kiyas, bring them to Kisakov? Let the Kiyas, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a Kaviyachal, would have a problem to hear his children blowing the shofar. Why do we need him for? Remember that simple question. You will understand, but you will see how much depth there is in that simple inyan. So it says, he is Kishemin. So after the Egel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to send you a malach. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, if you send a malach, I said, Moshe, Mem, Matatron, Shin, Sar, Hey, happening. That's exactly the definition of that malach. He is the interior minister in Shammai. You remember the story of Chanoch? How Chanoch turned out to become Matatron? And Chanoch, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took him alive and he became the Malach. So Moshe Rabbeinu is going to go to this Malach. And you look at the Midrash Rabbah by itself. You don't even have to look in the Zohar on this. Just in the Midrash Rabbah, you will see how Moshe Rabbeinu got very scared of his fire and so forth. But anyway, this is Rabnu Bachaya now in Bereshis. So first, what's the function of the interior minister? Kishmi Nikra Bekirboy, he has the same name Yudke Vavke as HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Matatron is in Olam HaYetzira. So we have Asiya, Yetzira, where Adam Arishon was created, where this is the Adam. You know what he means by now. Adam is Yud, Hey, Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph, Vav, Hey Aleph. The name of Hashem that worth 45. Because Adam is 45. And then we have Beria, and then we have Atzilus. So in Olam HaYetzira, which is where the four Tanoim went, Rabbi Akiva ben Zoyma, ben Azai, and Acher, this is where they entered. And this is the maximum a human can reach. Impossible to go Olam HaBeria while being alive. Impossible. This is only after. Olam Haba HaElyon is in Olam HaBeria. Why? Because the Bina, which extends, we spoke about this already, her wings, it goes from Atzilus to Beria. I don't want to go into this in too much. I just want to go for making a point that Moshe Rabbeinu has to go before who? Before someone. I shouldn't say the word someone. It's not Kobedik. Sorry. Before Malach Metatron, who is the interior minister, but really Moshe Rabbeinu has more power than him. But though Moshe Rabbeinu will get scared of him. Moshe Rabbeinu, he's so high, he reached the Bina. He's the only one on his last day of life, he reaches Olam HaBeriyah. But he doesn't finish the day. That's why I said nobody alive can reach that level. Moshe Rabbeinu reached that level, but then he departed. So maybe he was right at the time he departed. I don't know. But, and he's going to get the Torah, is called by Malach Matat. Just to tell you, just because the Midrash says it, so I'm just going to say it very briefly. Malach Matat took him higher. But you say in the Yotzer, which is the part of Olam HaBeriyah already, Yotzer Oro Voire Choshech. What's the difference between Yotzer and Boire for another share? But you say, V'aseraphim, V'chayis HaKodesh, whatever. I don't remember the Lashon now. So you have Oifanim, you have Seraphim, and you have Chayes. And you have to understand in Shamayim the functions of these Malachim, so you know, so we already understand the worlds, how they piled up, but they piled up like, you know, these keys, they have these cubes that go one into another, then into another, then into another, then they all close up. You see only one cube. And someone looking from the outside, it tells you only see one cube, but you know there's more than one. That's the way the worlds are working. What we see here, that's why we say everything is fake. Why? Because everything that in front of our eyes can only exist because of what he has inside. So what he has inside is really the truth. What is on the outside, it's only a projection, but not the truth. It's not there. So I have to go to the inside. But once you go to the inside, he's also not exactly the truth. Why? Because he has someone inside. And so forth. So you have to go from one to another, in, the pneumius. And this is going to be the side of this whole shiur. I'm explaining. You have malachim that you know. So, which are called, the Zohar call them the chayes. The chayes hakodesh. Berash gadol misnasin umas rapim umosam meshapchim v'imrim baruch kvoid Hashem imekoimoy. The chayes. Who are the chayes? They are what we call malachei argamon. I'll show you this because it's very good to know this, because you open a sefer, sometimes they just call them, they don't call them by name because people know them. The malachim of argamon, which means red, by the way. And this is how you're going to see it written all the time. When he's talking about the malachim, you're going to see, it means it's Rashi Tevis. Aleph for Uriel, which is in the east, like exactly the encampment of the Bnei Yisrael. Resh for Rephael, which is in the Myra, opposite side. Gimel for Gavriel, which is to the north. Mem for Michael, which is to the south. Oh, what is the Nun? For Nuriel, which the Zohar said it's exactly the same malach as Uriel, both of them. And sometimes when Bnei Yisrael do mitzvahs, so he brings Shefar from the east, so it's Uriel, Oir, from Lashon Oir of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when Chaz v'Shalom Bnei Yisrael do Aver, it's called Nuriel, like Nur, fire. So it's one malach. These four malachim, what they function, they carry the Shechina. They are called the malachim of the Merkava. And these, when you see in the Machzeh of Yecheskel, Malachim Ratzoi Vashoiv, they were running back and forth. whenever you see malachim running, it's always these four. So each one has 12 under him. It's 3 and then 4. 3 and the 4. So these are the malachim that are used for carrying missions. On top of them, you have 2 malachim. We call them the sarpnim, I'm gonna call him matap, okay? And he is the one, they're the ones shining on these malachim, they give them light. And these are called oifanim. So you have, in the pasuk, it says, in Yeshaya, v'ha'oifanim mima'al lakisei. The oifanim are above the kisei, meaning they're above the malchus. You have first the kisei are covered, and they're above the kisei to show you the tremendous kedusha of these malach. I know this week we're going a lot more into these inyanim, but I'm sorry, I say again, I need this for Shabbos in order to be able to give my share. It's going to be much lighter on Shabbos, but this year happens to be a bit tougher than I wanted. But again, you know, it's very fundamental. And even for us, when we say the words in davening, we don't understand who we refer to when we say this in the Yotzeh. Just chayes, this oifanim. No, we're talking about these malachim exactly by name. I named them. Now, why do I want to say that? Why did I have to bring you this? Because this is where the luchos rishonos, it's like almost, if you can imagine a door that swivel around the, what do you call it? The hinges. So you have a hinge, the door can be closed or the door can be open. Now, what do I mean by this? You will understand very simply. From now on, it's going to become a lot simpler. If we take this name, and you will be surprised by this, and it's a place to it. If we take the name of Mata, now we're going to fill it up. Mem, Tes, just to see who is he inside. We want to know his passport number. Tes, Reish, Vav, Nun. This equals, I shouldn't put equal here, I should put common. 1556. This equals to, how did we get out of Mitzrayim? Pakod, Pakati. These are the shemes of the Geula. We saw that on the outside means being freed, but really inside, all the shemes of the Geula are there. Twice. So we have here times 2. Why times 2? First answer is because the same one that did the same malach that was poel the Geula in Mitzrayim will do it with the same names. We saw that, we spoke about it in Parasha Shmois, in Parasha Vayera. It's going to be the Pakod, Pakati, the same shemes of the Geula for the Mashiach, for the Geula Achrona b'meira b'yameinu, amen. Number 1. However, because the Zohar Kodesh says, who is this mate that Moshe Rabbeinu had in the hand? The Zohar says, you know who the mate is? Look at the name, mate, it's Matatron. It's the Malach. Is the Malach. When he was standing straight and the Yudke Vavke was straight, it was beneficial for the Bnei Yisrael because Yud, Ke, Vav, Ke in the right order. We all know it's Rachamim. But once he was upside down, he was Hey, Vav, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, Vav, Yud. And that's Din for the Mitzrim. That's how the Makis happened. So he is the Malach that basically is Shomer Yisrael. That's his function. Meaning, because even when we get punished, we need Shmira because the Goyim will take advantage of the situation and make us regret, you know, our pedigree or our birth certificate. You know that. And on the other hand, he is also a function to punish when Bnei Yisrael don't do the right thing. So now, look at this. What does he say by the ego? When Moshe Rabbeinu, the pasuk by the ego, so Paket Pakati, I had it here. Paket Pakati was Geula of Mitzrayim and will be the Geula Achrona. And here it says about the chet of the ego. So, okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I'm not going to destroy you. However, you will pay on the generation. There's no tsar that happens to the Bnei Yisrael, say Chazal, that part of the chet ha'egel is not included in that. Every tsar, every hardship we go through also has a little bit of the chet ha'egel. Pakdi upakati. Uvyoim pakdi upakati. If I take these two words, and I put them right here under it, you're going to realize that two letters only are not the same. Where do we have the letters? Yud, Vav. Where was the ego? Where was the pgam of the ego done? In the letters Yud, Vav. We had recovered exactly as we said last week in Kabbalah Torah. We recouped the letters Yud, Vav from Esau. Now Yaakov was full. Now there was a Geula. Now we lost them back with the ego. And now for punishing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hints Pakod instead of having a Geula. Look at this. Word changes. Pakati. It's supposed to be Geula. Yeah, but now you have to recoup the Yud Vav that we lost because of the ego. And this is what the Malach Matron is doing. He is providing Shefa. He is the one that benefits the Am Yisrael, but on the other hand, he's also the one that demands. And therefore, since in Rosh Hashanah we full of Chataim, and we are not yet in the level of Tshuva, if already this Malach is above Gabriel, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Uriel. That tells you. So when he goes up, all the Malachim are scared of him. Therefore, he is the only one that can bring out Kiyas before Kadosh Baruch Hu. Otherwise, he would have been like out Tfilis. Because where was the oir in Moshe Rabbeinu? It says, Anon, Choshech, Ba'arafel. We saw that also, like the bris. He has 3 ola on it. And we have to remove the ola to have the bris. So here also, the kiyas would have been stopped because of the chataim. But there is a din in Shamayim that the kiyas of Bnei Yisrael, there's a reason why is the kiyas of the shofar, what is the koyach of the shofar. I'll touch on it a little bit here today to give you, because that touches the Malach Matat, why dafka the shofar, it goes right away up. And when HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he is the shofar, he moves from kisei din to kisei rachmim. That's why Dari HaKadosh says to daven earlier, to try to do the finish with the din on Rosh Hashanah as early as possible. Not as possible, till the by the 3rd hour of the day should be finished with the din, because then it's dangerous for the rest of the year. So a person, chas v'shalom, and it should be on no Jews that remains with the din and davens very late. You know, I don't say no more than this. So Moshe Rabbeinu is facing the mountain. Hashem told him, we know it's Malach Matat. He says, Ale yel Hashem, come up to me. Moshe Rabbeinu goes tachasahar, under the mountain, and he looks up. And he doesn't see the Shekhinah, doesn't see the air. What does he see? As it says in Parasha by Chanan, he says clouds. One cloud called Anan. One then cloud very dark, choshech. And then he sees Arafer. And he gets very scared. Moshe says, I'm not going up through that. I'm not going up. What it says in the Pasuk though, Moshe nigash. Moshe was brought up. What do you mean was brought up? No, he went up. Talking a direct tense. He went up. No. He didn't go up. So what he means nigash? He was brought up. I told you, every time we have this thing in the pasuk, go to the numbers, and you will see your answer. Nigash equals 353. Michael, Gabriel. Look at the midrash now. 2 malachim took him by the hands. Who was the name? Michael, Gabriel. Exactly in the words. Even if you had not opened the midrash, you would have found out, how Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shamayim. Just because we live a very, very hard time, and in Eretz Yisrael, we don't realize in America the hardship our brothers and sisters are living in Eretz Yisrael, which is a tremendous sorrow, financially, economically, with the pressure of these Reshaim idiots, all the idiot we have here, what they try to force them, it only appears a little bit, but we know what they're trying to force them to do. What's coming out these days also, like the head of the security who was yesterday on channel 14 in Eretz Yisrael, and he said he has a friend in the Shavak, in the intelligence, and told him before Simchas Torah, before the concert, and he told him, take a lot of weapons with you, you will be attacked by Arabs. Spoke on channel 14. No, he's not from God. He was on the concert in Simchas Torah. He just says what he got. Scratch your head. How much smoke do we have that these people knew? Now, fill up the dots. Do you think America didn't know about this? Honestly, do we still rely on them? Oh, they give us weapons. They ain't give us nothing. They're just Nazis. Some babies were in ovens because of them giving the green light. It's a tremendous sorrow right now. Tomorrow, they're making a Yom Tefillah, with Al-Pisoid, tremendous soid. Tomorrow it's going to be used in Eretz Yisrael. I wish I would have been there. Maybe I'll speak a little bit on Shabbos about this. It's not a tremendous thing they're going to do, and this is going to shake Shamayim. I'm telling you something. We haven't used this in my lifetime. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it being used. And never. Tomorrow it will be used. To tell you what the Mekubalim hold, that Sarah, how much the Kitrug is on Bnei Yisrael, how much Yerushalayim is in danger, and how much ourselves we have to wake up. And for this, I would like to show you, because it's in the pasuk. Not that Chaz v'Shalom, I'm going to try to see, futuristic things in here. I just want to show you Why Moshe Rabbeinu v'nigash Moshe levado yel Hashem? Why? What was he scared? Do you think Moshe Rabbeinu was a scared person? He took Paro, he took on the Sitra Achra, he took on everything. But look at this one. What he knows. If we take Choshech, written in the Torah, there's never a vav. And we're gonna see what's the koyach, what's the pedigree, what's the of the choshech. Ches, shin in full, so we know what he has in full, and chaf. Okay, this equals to a number 878. Now you look on the other side, and we're gonna take Mashiach. Mem, Shin, Yud, Ches. Always, when the moment is becoming, the Zera holds this, whenever the Goyim are going to put a tremendous doichat, a pressure on the Yidden, the Malchus would say, enough is enough. And this is going to be the biggest, yes, in the Holocaust, it was terrible. And they probably thought also, and probably they deserved to have the Mashiach at that time. For whatever reason, I have no clue why it didn't come then. Should have come then. However, here, when you read between the lines and you see how they saw the blood of little children, the suffering of parents to see their children mortified before them, and children looking at their parents being tortured, and the tremendous thing they have done with the seal, I can swear on it. America, Biden gave his okay on this. Imach Shemoy of Blinken, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu can punish this regime. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They gave the okay on this. And how many in Israel gave the okay on this? This troubles me even more. These are Rishonim. I don't care. But how many heads of the Shabbat? How many heads in the army? How many, the upper echelon knew about it. And unfortunately, it happened. So when we see, why do I say this? Because I know it's not today the very happy Shiur like last week and everything. We're talking about the difficult thing, but the more they become, the more we enter the Choshech, it's not like a tunnel that, you see the light bit by bit. Yes, we will see it bit by bit at the end, but first we have to pass the center of the tunnel, which is the darker part. And then when we're going to start reaching toward the outside, and now, Baruch Hashem, we're starting, yes, on one hand, there's so many miracles on the battlefield. I don't know if you guys pay attention by this video, not from fighters, soldiers. Just, 2 days ago, it's on YouTube. It's not even me, go on thing. And you can see they have nothing to do. They can't even say 2 words of religion. Guys telling me, I'm Eliyahu Hanavi, you better get out of here, or you're going to get killed. Every Jew that hears Eliyahu Hanavi panics. And you have to see the panic even when he talks about it. I mean, these are things that, on the open, you don't have to go and trust me. This is not a story that I'm only one. It was on TV in Israel 2 days ago or something like this, or maybe last week. I just saw it on YouTube. It's just mind-boggling. So we see on one hand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shomer Yisrael, and but on the other hand, all the goyim. Just to finish on that subject, because I don't want to go too long on this. America brought a navy, what a power, but basically hasn't done nothing with it. What was the plan? Don't you scratch your head here? What would you pay for all these ships and plane carriers and all these planes and fill up so much money for what? You don't even avenge the blood of these American soldiers that came. So what are you doing? What are you doing there? Are you trying to trap the Jews, Israel, to force them to something? I know it seems to be crazy, but let's see what the future is going to tell us. Let's see. Because it's not for the Houthis. It's not for Iran. So who is it for? To remove Netanyahu, maybe? By force, if needed? To remove Ben Gvir? To remove Smotrich? You know, Blinken is walking in Israel like he's walking in the White House. He's like meets everyone, talk to gallant eyes to eyes without the president, without the cabinet there. This is nuts what's going on. What's going on before our eyes, if someone opens his eyes, it's momish crazy. And who does this? The lie of America. The lie of Eretz Israel. Anyway, let's change subject. Just want to show that when it's the darker, this is when the light of Mashiach starts shining. But the Choshech is trying to prevent. We all know what Choshech is. Chamoyer, Shoyer, Kelev. Chamoyer, Klipa of Ishmael. We have it. Shoyer, Klipa of Esav. We have it. America is there. Europe is trying to get a state of and try to force it down the throat of Israel. That was the whole plan by the world, in order the UN, in order to force it down our throats. So who's the killer? Amalek. We all know that. These are the three klippas. Choshech is made out of three klippas. Chamoy, Shor, Kelev. Where is the Kelev? Remember the Shiur on the Pelishtim? There's our Kelev. But the Ramak said, at the end of time, the sea will come over. They're going to flood it. And it will be Nithar. Even though it was not, we could not get it on the Kivush Rishon with Yoshua. We didn't get it in Kivush Sheni with David HaMelech. In Kivush Shlishi, it will be part of Israel. B'mheira b'yameinu amen, we should be taking it over. We see that notion. We can bring the proof to just what we said about that Moshe Rabbeinu had to go to Malach Metatron. Why? Because it is a very strange language in the Pasuk. Moshe Rabbeinu is called to go up to Hashem. Ve'al Moshe Amar Ale El Hashem, come up to Hashem. Ato ve'aron nodo v'avihu ve'shivi mizik Yisrael. And it says after, Vayiru es Eloike Yisrael, they saw the God of Israel. Who's the God of Israel? Who is he? Now, we have it in Tehillim. I don't know if I brought it, but it would be easier to look at it at the Pasuk. We have in Tehillim, Baruch Hu Hashem, Eloike Yisrael. Hashem is Eloike Yisrael. Who is Eloike Yisrael? You know what we said at the end of Yom Kippur? Oh, I brought the other psukim. What's this? Vayiru es Eloike Yisrael. I would like to understand what this notion means. Eloike Yisrael. So I didn't bring the other psukim. Too bad. I'm going to explain you. At the end of Yom Kippur, we finished the day with Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim. We saw last week what Ol Malchus Shamayim, the Gematrias and everything, what it means, what do we do with that. Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim. In the Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shamayim, we finish with a sentence that we say 7 times. Hashem Hu HaElokim, 7 times. Why? Because this world is controlled by 7 midas. And in the 7 midas, we want to say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he is Hashem is Yud Ke Vav Ke, meaning It's the forces above nature. And even nature, so what we say, even the force of nature, we will never, as Jews, interpret what we see with our eyes as just an occurrence to say it's an occurrence. It's always Hashem behind. It means we have the emunah, we raise the level of the teva from Elohim, from Malchus to Yesod. And that when a person is not any longer under the mazalas. Once he raised the teva, all the teva is ruled by mazalas. But once you're into the Yud, the center, which is Ira Shamayim, remember Ira Shamayim is 1001, 12 times, 13 times mazal, 1001. To the 13th mazal. So you raise yourself to Yud Gimel Midas Derachmim. And now you're not controlled. And even if you have a Shlum mazal, the mazal will be good. Why is Hashem, Hu Elohim, so essential? Because it shows that the Malchus was brought up to its place. Remember we explained last week, the world is round, the Malchus is in the center. And if you take it, it's a very big notion in the Kabbalah of the Ari HaKodesh that the world is at the same time circle, but at the same time straight. So you all see in your document that you see the Keser on top, the Malchus at the bottom. But if the world, the eye, everything. But when you turn them, you see they're very close to each other at the end of the circle. Keser, you start the circle. Malchus, you finish the circle. All we have to do is this, close the circle, to get them together. Hashem Elohim equals 129. 129, okay, this is so essential. Do you know that this sentence, at any time you say it, you're in a tsar, and you keep on repeating him, I believe Hashem Hu Elohim, Hashem Hu Elohim, you will not understand. You will get out of the tsara. So we said Hashem Hu Elohim 129. I don't want to read Hashem Hu Elohim. And this equals to Yud Ke Vav Ke, the name in the Chochmah, Kehye, the name in the Bina, Aleph Hey Vav Hey, Es Hashamayim Ves Haaretz, the Shem of the Das with which HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, which is in the Malchus. So that's how it. These are the names. So you're raising, because of your emunah, you're raising the Malchus to Chochmah, to her parents, basically to say. Yud Ke Vav Ke, and what is the Das doing? Giving her strength. And now whatever tsar you are cannot happen anymore, because the Mekatregim are always attaching the Malchus when it's at the last position. But once you raise it inside the club, you know, then they cannot access it. They can never go up to the Bina, or the Bina will just burn them with a fire. And so automatically, by transitivity in mathematically, if I say that, you're free from your tsar. Not that it's corrected, but you're free. You there's nothing else. I want to skip a few things, but I just want to give you where this connects and to the Na'aseh ונשמע. Says the Zohar HaKadosh that prior to Bnei Yisrael to receive the Torah, so if the mitzvahs give life to the worlds, what happened before we got the Torah? There were thousands of years before that. How did the worlds live? So says the Zohar HaKadosh, the Malachim used to do korbanos in Shamayim, but their mitzvahs are not as big in terms of reward that are mitzvahs. Therefore, they were bringing just the bare minimum to sustain the world. Okay. When Bnei Yisrael received the mitzvahs, they say, that's why it says na'aseh. We'll do the asiyah, we'll perform the doing. Because when we do a ma'aseh, we take something physical and raise it to spirituality. This is the purpose of this. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu was not satisfied with that. the Midrash says, in truth, they were tempted only to accept Torah shebichtav, not Torah shebe'al peh. Why? Torah shebichtav is a walk in the park. It's nice stories. It's mechaya, you know, to go behind it and finding the words look as we do, you know, it brings you life. Torah shebe'al peh is very hard. A lot of machloikes. Where is the din? And what, you know, that din, and so what's the difference with that din? All of a sudden, I don't know anymore where I'm holding. They say, you know what, this we don't want. But when they say the Tiferes is Torah shebichtav, Malchus is Torah shebe'al peh, is Yud Ke Vav Ke, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud together, it's the Yichud. We have to get them together. When they say Na'aseh ונשמע, they brought all the worlds together like Hashem echad u'shemo echad. Why? Because the Yud Ke, you cannot touch it. You cannot go above, I said before, Olam HaYetzira with actions. Actions don't reach Bria. Sorry, I said Yetzira here. I repeat what I said. You cannot reach above the Olam HaYetzira, which means Olam HaBeria and Olam HaAtzilus with actions. Actions are heavy. They have lead. They can reach just the next world, Olam HaYetzira. However, you have mitzvahs that we have to speak. We have to hear Kriyas Torah, Kriyas Shema, you know, and so forth. These are lighter. And these can reach, they go actually in the Yud K and the action of mitzvahs go into the Vav K. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, when he brought him before the sneh, I'm giving you a sign that you will get out of Mitzrayim because you will worship me on that heart. Yetzias Mitzrayim had to be connected to Matan Torah. How much is Na'aseh ונשמע? $891. How much is Yetzias Mitzrayim? $890. Who performed Yetziat Mitzrayim? Who were the roim of Yetzias Mitzrayim? Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. And through the desert, Moshe was Aaron was the uncovered, Miriam was the bearers of Miriam, and Moshe was the man. That was a complete. Moshe, Aaron, Miriam, 891, not 7-ish. Why we were not satisfied? It's not really a question. Sometimes we don't realize, we have the impression we do a mitzvah and we performed it the right way. No, because for the need we have, it's like a key. If you don't have the fact that you have a key, you're not going to open any lock with it. You're only going to open the lock where it fits. That's all. So here we needed a path. The Bnei Yisrael are missing in the link. Only when they said, Na'aseh ונשמע, they put themselves with Moshe, Aaron, Miriam, with the level of Yetzias Mitzrayim. We said last week, I'm not going to say it, I'm going to show us, but just one last one I'm going to tell you on this. What's the proof that the Na'aseh ונשמע really put the Bnei Yisrael on the link, and even death was canceled, and they reached the level of going to Olam Haba, and so forth and so forth? Bnei Yisrael equals 603. So we know Na'aseh ונשמע equals 891. And this, Tzvi Lasker knows about this. How many nitzoitzes, how many dinim we have? The Rapach. Rapach is 288. You see, there's a funny passage at the end of Parashat Vayishlach when the Torah start talking about 7 kings of Esau. 8, actually. Who cares about them? And who cares about the name of their wives? And who cares about the place? We can't even find it. Doesn't exist anymore, these places. And this is the beginning of the Kabbalah, these 7 Melachim. And they were, so with the Chet, of Adam HaRishon, the 288 main sparkles of Kedusha that fell down. And there HaKadosh breaks them down on which midah lost and how many lost. Now you take Na'aseh ונשמע equals Bnei Yisrael Rapach. The 288 were corrected. In other words, there's no more dinim in the world. Misa cannot attack them. Not that it's a reward for accepting the Torah. No, they have reached the level of Adam HaRishon before the Chet. And that's why they had to put themselves on that link. Only Moshe and HaKadosh Baruch Hu were satisfied when they say Na'aseh ונשמע, because they reached the full correction and then the Malach HaMavis was finished. And the proof is, it's equal also, and I'm saying it, Mashchis, Vehu Rachum Yechaper Avan Velo Yashchis. Why do we say this before Ma'ariv? Because we daven to remove the clip of Mashchis. Then Chema, then Af. These are the three main clippers that bring tzares to a person. And these are, Mashchis is the one, the Malach HaMavis. So now, Mashchis Av Chema 891, Na'aseh ונשמע. We close the circle. You know why it's here in the dinim and not now in the Aseres HaDibros. Aseres HaDibros was the Torah shebichtav. It's easy, yeah, to accept it. Here we're talking about the dinim ben adam lachaveru and everything. We want to be mevatel the dinim that brought death to the world. And this is possible only through when you accept the dinim, when you accept Torah shebe'al peh. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.